Now, let's talk about where we've been in our multiplication journey, okay? A long time ago, we learned how to multiply one-digit numbers. Then we learned how to multiply two-digit numbers, three-digit numbers, etc. Then we learned how to multiply decimals, right? We learned how we can move the decimal points over to the right, but then we have to move them back in the product, right, to the left. And then we learned how to multiply a fraction by a whole number by modeling it. Then we learned how to do it without modeling. Then we learned how to multiply a fraction by a fraction using models. Then we also learned how to figure out if the product is going to be bigger, equal to, or less than the factors. Then finally, yesterday, we finally got to the point where we multiplied fractions times a fraction without using a model, right? Today, we're going to move right along our multiplication journey. And in lesson 7.7, we are going to think about area and also mixed numbers. Okay? And your learning goal for today, you'll know you have succeeded in math if you can use a model to multiply two mixed numbers in order to find the area of a rectangle. Lee wants to cover her rectangular floor of her closet with tile. Okay, so she wants to put down tile so that the floor of her closet is all covered with tile. The floor is 2.5 feet by 3.5 feet. She wants to use the fewest number of tiles possible, and she doesn't want to have to cut any tiles up, okay? She wants to go out and buy tiles and use them to cover her entire floor. Tiles come in 3 sizes. 1 foot by 1 foot, like this one right here. Okay, this one's 1 foot by 1 foot. Half foot by half foot, and 1/4 of a foot by 1/4 of a foot. Which size tile should Lee use? And also, what is the area of the closet floor? So the first question is, choose the tile that Lee should use. Go ahead and talk to the people near you. What tile should she use? What I'm hearing you say is she cannot use the 1 foot by 1 foot tiles because her dimensions are 2.5 feet by 3.5 feet. Could she use the half foot by half foot? Could she use the 1/4 foot by 1/4 foot?
Yes. Yeah,
but
it would just take a lot.
It might be a better choice to buy the half foot by half foot because then she'll have to buy fewer tiles, right? All right. So the second question is asking, what is the area of her closet floor? Well, let's take a look. Now on this grid here, each one of these squares is going to be 1/2 by 1/2. Okay, so this little square right here, the dimensions are 1/2 by 1/2 because we decided that's the size that Lee should buy.
It's 7.
Okay, so how many squares does she need? If she buys one here, whoa, hold on one second. This is 1/2. What are the dimensions of her closet again? Let's take a look. So the dimensions are 2.5 feet by 3.5 feet, right? So let's do the 2.5 feet first. Here's half a foot. Here's another half a foot. So how many feet is that total? 1. Here's another half. So how many is that total? 1.5. What about here? 2. 2.5. Okay, there's the length that we need, right? Now let's talk about the width. Here's half a foot. If I buy another half, how many is that?
1.
Now, 1.5. 2. 2.5. 3. 3.5. Okay, so here this represents the width, and here's the length, right? We know that this is 2.5, and this is 3.5, right? Now, how many squares total are there in the rectangle that we drew? Go ahead and count them. How many squares going down are there? 5 squares. How many squares going across are there? 7. And 5 times 7 is 35 squares. Okay. Now, what is the area of one tile? Half times half, right? Which is?
1/4.
And when we are talking about area, we use what kind of units?
Square units.
So this is squared feet, okay? So the area of one, whoa, hold on one second. Since we know that the area of one small square is how many square feet? Whoa. Is 1/4 square feet, right? If I have 35 of them, what is the total area? If I have 35 little tiles and the area of each little tile is 1/4 square feet, how can I find out the total area of that rectangle? What do I need to do? Go ahead and talk to your table group. Model to figure out that, because I know that the area of one small tile is 1/4 square feet, and I know there's 35 of those tiles all together. 35 times 1/4 is 35 over 4, or 8 3/4 square feet. Okay. Sometimes it is easier to multiply mixed numbers if you break them apart into whole numbers and fractions. Okay, so go ahead and write in your notebook. The next problem we are going to solve is 1 3/5 times 2 3/4. The first thing we need to do is we need to rewrite each mixed number as the sum of a whole number and a fraction. So what's the whole number part of 1 3/5? Joseph? What's the whole number part of this mixed number right here? 1. And what's the fraction part? Okay, thank you. And please put on your glasses so that you can see. So by breaking it apart as an addition problem, we're breaking apart the whole number part from the fraction part. Okay, now let's take a look at 2 3/4. What's the whole number part, Marcus?
2.
2 plus, and then what's the fraction part?
3/4.
3/4. Okay. Now, we're going to draw an area model to show the original multiplication problem. So I would draw the area of I know that I'm talking about the area of a rectangle. And the width is how much? Let's say 1 3/5. And the length will be 2 3/4. Okay, if you're taking good notes, you've drawn this in your notebook already. Now we're going to break this rectangle up, okay, into different sections, into 4 different sections. Step 3 is to draw dashed lines and label each section to show how you broke apart the number. I'm going to break this length. How long is this length right here? 1 3/5. I'm going to break it up into 2 different sections. I'm going to have the whole number part, 1 here. And how long is this part here then? 3/5. Okay. Then I'm also going to do the same thing over here. How long is this section right here? 2 3/4. I'm going to break it up. I'm going to have this part, the big part, be 2, and over here is 3/4, right? Now I'm going to find the area of each section. Okay. How can I find the area of this rectangle right here? What are the dimensions of this rectangle right here? What is the length? Right here, from here to here is 1. And what is the width? 2. So the area is 1 times 2, or 2, right? Now let's find the area of this part right here. Okay, what are the dimensions of this rectangle? It's 3/4 times 1, because the length is 1 right here, and the width is 3/4. So 1 times 3/4 is what? Yeah, okay. Now, what about this one over here? What is the length? What is this length of this blue rectangle? 3/5. And what is the width?
2.
So how can I find the area? 2 times 3/5, which is 6/5, right? And then finally, what about this little guy up here? It would be 3/5 times what? 3/4. 3/5 times 3/4, which is 9/20. Good. Now how can I find the total area? I need to add up all those areas. 9/20 plus 3/4 plus 2 plus 6/5. Go ahead and do that in your notebooks. After adding up the total area of each little section, we can see that the product of 1 3/5 times 2 3/4 is 4 2/5.